My name's Christian. Thank you guys for coming today. I'm excited. There's so much that's getting developed right now on Cardano. This is just one of their little ecosystem maps where you can see some of the really cool and interesting things that are going on right now, from the exchanges to the decentralized finance applications to the decentralized applications themselves and all of the things in between. It's just a plethora of things that are getting developed right now, and it looks like hundreds, if not thousands of different types of applications and really cool projects are underway. We'll go through a couple of them today. I'll probably take about 10 or 15 minutes to kind of go through some of the things that I've seen that I really like, and then open it up to questions, or if there's things that you've seen too that you think are really cool, feel free to put them in the chat, or we can talk about them after. So anyway, here's just a little bit of what's going on with Cardano right now. If you don't know what a decentralized application is, I think the best way how to explain to me is if you can go onto any place, anywhere, and have a app store like you do on your iPhone or your Android app right now, but it's not connected to a centralized application like Apple or Google. It's just there whenever you need it. All your applications are at your fingertips. Doesn't matter if you're on your phone, your iPad, your tablet, your desktop, everything's right there. It's all decentralized. It's all on the blockchain. So nobody controls it except for you, how it is you want to see it and what's going on with it. The really cool thing about Cardano is that the Catalyst community basically launches decentralized applications about every quarter, and they're on Catalyst right now, I believe 5. The resource for voters, you can see what's going on and what community projects have been proposed. You can actually vote on them as well. And the ones that get the most votes get funded. As you can see, there's one of the big portions of Fund 5 is the Dapps and integrations, but there's the developer ecosystem, decision-making, onboarding, metadata, everything that you could think of on the Cardano ecosystem has a position here in Catalyst. So when you go into the Dapps themselves, you can see the ones that have been proposed and what funds they've requested and a little bit about them. Here's a Cardano connector, MetaMask-like. If you're not familiar with MetaMask, that's pretty much the Ethereum wallet of choice when it comes to decentralized finance. So you can go through the entire proposal of all the different Dapps that have been proposed to the Fund 5 here on Catalyst. There's a ton of them, and I think there's like over 80 right now. There'll be a vote here as we get about a week or two more into this, and then I think they're going to announce the winners at the summit, Cardano Summit, coming up here towards the end of September, and then it'll roll right into Catalyst Fund 6. In Catalyst Fund 5, there's 2 million, I believe, 2 million funds of ADA that have been allocated for it, and Fund 6, there's going to be 4 million. So the community keeps growing, faster and faster. Lots of like decentralized exchanges have been proposed. NFTs obviously are a big conversation starter right now when it comes to what's going on in that space and how crazy they've shot up in value. The entire NFT ecosystem now is just a huge bubble. It seems like that it's getting inflated bigger and bigger, but there's no telling where it's going to stop. The Hero wallet, there's just a ton of different proposals. Some of them you may have heard of, a lot of them I haven't, but there was one that was actually, here's one that's an NFT game. So these are kind of the things that I'm really excited about. If you haven't heard of Axie Infinity, that's pretty much the game of choice right now for a lot of people, especially in third world countries where they can earn more off of that game than they do working at a job. So there's just a ton of different things that are being proposed and built, and these decentralized applications are going to be a big portion of what all of the blockchains are going forward, especially some of the main layer one protocols like Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, Avalanche, several that are out there right now and are getting lots and lots of development and lots of really cool applications built on them. So one of the nice decentralized exchanges that's getting built right now is called ErgoDesk. It's getting built on both the Ergo and Cardano layers. So it's going to be a cross-chain exchange. Decentralized exchanges, the biggest one is Uniswap right now, which is the main swap mechanism on the Ethereum blockchain, where you can swap one token for another. So you could take your ETH tokens and swap them for wrapped Bitcoin, or you could take your ETH tokens and swap them for any of the ERC20 tokens that have been built on the Ethereum blockchain. So ErgoDex is just being developed right now, but it's on track, I believe, to be launched right around the time when Cardano forks here at the September 12th. So ErgoDex for Cardano, they're in the JavaScript phase right now. They're doing their order book. There's a lot of testing that's going to go on as far as their automated market maker system and their order book. They're going to really probably come out swinging here as we get towards the rollout of Alonzo, and the smart contracts really start to come into play here at the middle of September. And then as we hit the end of the month too, I'm sure there'll be a lot of buzz that goes on the Cardano Summit. One of the decentralized exchanges that I've been using recently, because Orion is also getting developed on Cardano, I've been actually just playing around with it through the Binance Smart Chain, and I've connected my MetaMask wallet using, I don't have my password. I think I got it saved here. There we go. So you can connect your MetaMask wallet, and then basically you can buy, sell, trade, and the Orion protocol, which is a decentralized exchange similar to what ErgoDex is going to be. It's also got a liquidity pool, so you can stake your tokens and create liquidity for different pairs here. And once you've got your liquidity tokens, you can get returns that are, fairly large. I mean, there's returns here that are 40%, 30%, 47%. So those returns that you're getting when you're staking your tokens on a decentralized exchange can be extremely lucrative. And there's a lot of people that are out there yield farming that are getting, enormous returns. With Orion, one of the cool things is they purport to be a cross-chain platform. So they want to be an aggregator for a lot of different blockchains, not just Cardano, not just Ethereum, but Injective Protocol and Cody and all of the other layer ones that are there. So they want to become more of a Bloomberg terminal is kind of how they're phrasing it for the entire blockchain infrastructure. One of the really cool things that I like that's getting developed on Cardano right now is called World Mobile Token. You may have heard of it. They're creating an infrastructure in Africa right now for people that are without mobile service. This is going to bring tens of thousands of people initially onto the Cardano blockchain, and then probably millions of people across Africa who aren't connected otherwise. They just launched about a month ago, and they're already connecting. I believe their initial ramp up is going to be 100,000 users here by the end of the year in Tanzania, and then they're going to roll it out across the main continent of Africa and have millions of people that are able to connect to mobile service and get broadband internet that otherwise would never have it. The nice part about this is, since it's getting also developed on Cardano, all those people will be native to Cardano, and they'll be able to use the protocols and the decentralized applications that are being built on Cardano. World Mobile just also announced a partnership with Meld, and Meld is going to be a lending protocol that's being developed right now on Cardano, so that you can do peer-to-peer lending. So between World Mobile Token and Meld, you'll be able to get onto the internet, be able to use broadband, and also to be able to basically bank yourself and create liquidity and loan out money and receive loans from other people across the world. So Cardano roadmap, we came through the Byron stage, which is basically proof of concept, then in getting into Shelley, which was proof of stake, and now we're into the smart contract phase, Goguen, which will be fully rolled out here and on the mainnet September 12th. Then it goes into the Basho phase, which is scaling. That's one of the big issues that Ethereum's obviously faced with their gas fees, which can be hundreds of dollars now just to transmit or transfer a token from one place to the other. And then government, so we're going to be fully decentralized, and it'll be all self-governing, so anybody with Cardano tokens will have a say in what happens in the Cardano ecosystem. Cardano Summit is obviously coming up here. There you can sign up and do it online. There's also going to be viewing parties all over the world. The one that's closest to me is in Silicon Valley, but there's going to be a really cool two-day summit, the 25th and 26th, where they're going to be going through what's gone on and what's going to continue to happen here as we roll through the ecosystem and continue to see what is popping with Cardano. There's just so much that's on their roadmap right now. It's going to be really cool once the smart contract phase actually rolls out and to see exactly what gets developed on the system. So here's an NFT marketplace, cnft.io. They launched really early and it's a little bit clunky right now, but they do have a lot of people that have minted NFTs on their system, and you can, buy, sell, trade, do whatever you want with your Cardano blockchain NFT, similar to how Ethereum has, their NFT marketplaces, and you've probably seen CryptoPunks or some of the other large projects that are out there get tremendous amounts of activity and sell for millions of dollars. Cardano now will basically, they've had the ability to mint NFTs for a while, but now that the smart contracts are rolling out, it'll be much easier to basically exchange value for the NFT themselves. Right now, you've got to send your tokens and then get the NFT marketplace kind of is considered more like an escrow, where you send your tokens into the marketplace, the creator sends in their NFT and then exchanges and wallet addresses. So that'll all be fixed here in the probably next couple of weeks, where everything will be able to be transacted from peer to peer rather than having the centralized marketplace. Another really cool thing that's being developed right now on Cardano is SingularityNet, which is an AI marketplace, a very cool just project that really impressed me with what it is they're doing. They're right now on Ethereum, but they're going to be porting over to Cardano here after the launch of smart contracts. It's just amazing to see like what's going on in the world of AI. Their video is just, it reminds me of straight out of something of sci-fi, where you've got just really cool things that are going on with just the ability and almost like robotics and AI meet. And the open source concept though that they're taking is really cool. They've actually just partnered with Domino's Pizza in Asia, and they're going to be helping them coordinate pizza delivery service and making more things more efficient and more profitable for the Domino's pizza chain in Southeast Asia. But again, really cool, really early stage, just amazing projects that are getting developed, and the ability to just transform the way that we think and do things. I think that a lot of people are concerned or anxious for the fact that machines will be taking over a lot of the jobs that humans do. But I mean, just look at some of the things that are on here. It's just really incredible to see what they're developing and what's going to be on the horizon here in the next couple of years. So with that being said, I mean, obviously the Cardano is trading right now $2.78. It's gone up dramatically. There's a lot of the smaller projects that are out there that people are going to be jumping into here, I'm sure, that are going to go up and dramatically in price in the next couple of weeks, if not next couple of months. There's a lot of price predictions, and people are saying Cardano could hit $10, it could hit $20, it could hit $100, but the basis is that the blockchain is still very new. There's not a whole lot that's built on it yet. It took a long time for Bitcoin to make it to the place where it is, and Ethereum is pretty much the leader when it comes to everything that's blockchain driven for DeFi. But Cardano does have the ability to take some of that market share and maybe even become the top or the chain of choice when it comes to a lot of the projects that are out there right now. We do run a Cardano staking pool, and if you do have ADA and you're staking it right now, would love to have you stake with us. The rewards that you get are usually somewhere between 4% and 6%, and just another way to add a little bit of benefit for people that have the Cardano token. I think 71% of ADA that's out there right now is currently staked, so that's another good sign that the supply obviously is getting sucked up, and as the demand becomes higher and higher, obviously there's nowhere for the price to go but up. But anyway, I wanted to open it up to any questions that you guys have, if I can be of any assistance to you. I just love the Cardano ecosystem, a lot of the people. There is a lot of kind of infighting, it seems like, between the Ethereum crowd and the Cardano crowd and some of them out there, but I think that everything can pretty much cooperate and achieve what it is that they want to, independently of there being a zero-sum game. There doesn't have to be a winner and a loser. I think there's going to be a lot of space for a lot of different projects, and we're seeing a lot of really cool things happening right now on the side of Cardano and Solana and Ethereum, and there's a ton of different projects, Polkadot being one of them, Avalanche having a lot of liquidity. It's just starting to pour into their system as well. So if you've got any questions, feel free to, unmute yourself and we can chat for a little bit, or if you want to put it in the chat section yourself, I'm happy to look at those as well.
Hey, Christian. Hi, this is Ganesha from Mumbai, India.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Fantastic. Well, I'm a newbie, to be very honest, from a blockchain point of view as a technology. I hold some of Cardano investment, which I did a couple of months back. However, I'm actually pursuing to build a peer-to-peer lending DeFi application. Now, I'm at the minute, as I said, newbie. I'm still yet to understand the depth of the technology by itself. Cardano was one thing, as you rightly said at the beginning, that at the minute the option is we've got a couple of them, which is mine is Bitcoin, which is Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, and Solana, and other standard, should I say, native blockchains, which you can build a lot of products and services. Now, one of the things which I wanted to do or pursue is a peer-to-peer lending in India, and do a micro lending for underprivileged or untouched, or the crowd who usually wouldn't get from the regular financial institutions. So I did meet a couple of other people as well last week, on Cardano project. The other individual helped me out to understand the F5 funding, which is happening. A lot of people are working on a lot of projects, especially Africa. I think it's more buzzing from Cardano point of view for some reason. And that seems to be a little more concentrated, where a lot of multiple parallel projects are running. I can pick up some of them in terms of, which can fit in the Indian market as such, which is a more developing market. But my question is, from a technical point of view, where should I go to meet people to understand the technology by itself? For example, one of the things which we were running through in terms of the DeFi liquidity staking pool, right? One of you mentioned about, I think it's Orion or Ergo Dex, which should have created as a DeFi, service on top of Cardano. So if I have to build something very similar to that, but then attach a lending profile as well, where people can lend from a peer-to-peer lending or a microfinance, where there's a real use case in the real world, because most of it, what you're talking now, is not get reached in the real world. It's still in a bubble, in a bubble by blockchain. It's still more in process rather than it's out there and it's reached where people are swiping and then buying products and services in the real market. It's not yet there. But if I have to do that, where I make use of services where they can go and buy clothing, or there's some e-commerce which you can build upon that, where people are accepting Cardano or any other, for that matter, crypto as such, as against fiat currency or on top of fiat currency. So that's my view in terms of where in next at least 2 to 3 years we should be able to reach that. I'm sure we will be, but I want to be one of those guys who propagate and influence those people to come on them. So how do I go about to reach there? But as I said, my limited knowledge of technology by itself is I'm still learning, but I'm really curious to either collaborate or discuss my ideas in terms of to build on Cardano by itself.
Yeah, the two things that I would recommend. So Cardano has the Plutus Pioneer program, which is basically their smart contract language on top of Cardano. It's free, and I think they're launching their 3rd cohort here shortly. I just had one of our developers go through the 2nd process, but now it's all available. It's all online. It's basically they invite you to the Slack room. You meet the different students that are going through the process, and they have weekly videos and development projects that they do. And then at the end of, I believe it's 6 weeks, you basically become a smart contract programmer. And on the development side, that's going to be extremely beneficial if you want to create anything, decentralized application wise on top of blockchain. Plutus is what Cardano is using as their programming language. Solidity is what Ethereum uses as their programming language. There's pros and cons to every single language that's out there, but Plutus was developed just for Cardano and basically allows you to get that, that intimate knowledge of how to use smart contracts, what goes on behind the scenes and everything associated with it. And then what you're going to probably want to do is just, contact the people at Catalyst. You can put any project you want onto the Catalyst system, right. and then you can get funding. So a lot of these people that have put their projects out there, they they're new to Cardano as well, and there's a lot that you can do when it comes to getting funding for your idea. If you want to create a peer-to-peer lending system in India, you can utilize Catalyst to put your project out there, see who likes it, and then also to meet like-minded people. You might be able to collaborate with another team. You might be able to meet people that have that same type of interest as you do, and then at that point you can all move towards that goal of whatever the problem is that you aim to solve.
Yep. Well, so, Chess, thank you.
Sure. Looks like we got a question here. Can you recommend any dApps related to real estate or anything in the construction industry? There aren't a whole lot of decentralized applications that I see right now that are getting developed in the real estate industry. We've looked into doing some type of a decentralized multiple listing service, which would allow people to list their properties anywhere in the world. But I think what Charles Hoskinson says, who's the founder of Cardano and one of the co-founders of Ethereum, basically blockchain lends itself perfectly to being a decentralized property ledger. And what they're doing right now in Africa with their project in Ethiopia, utilizing the Prism system, and not Prism, but Prism, which is allowing people to have decentralized identification and allowing 5 million students inside of Ethiopia to build up their own personal identity. Also to keep track of their schooling, so they can keep track of their grades, their diplomas, everything that's associated with them personally and individually, and allow them to utilize that information when they go to apply for jobs and those types of things. Right now, in a lot of the countries that are out there, probably India being one of them, they don't have really good systems in place for being able to track who goes and graduates from which school. So there's a lot of forged documents that happen and a lot of things that go on that you can't really control too much. But if you had all of your identification on the blockchain, of course, some of it's going to be private, some of it's going to be personal, but others going to be public. You can share that information with who you choose to, and you can show them, hey, I went to this primary school, I graduated with this grades, I went to this high school, I went to this college, here's my diploma. Excuse me. Then everybody can see it. So that's really one of those cool things that allows people that don't have an identity right now to be able to grow into that economy that allows them to build their own personal network and their own worth up to a point where they're trusted and they become a part of a community, and they can show and demonstrate that here's what I've done in the past, and here's what and that includes on the lending side, borrowing and paying back loans, like we do in the US when it comes to a credit score, which is almost arbitrary at this point, right? Nobody knows exactly how you get your credit score and what the number relates to. You can tell that 600 is okay, 650 is a little bit better, 700 is pretty nice. Then there's the almighty 800 credit score, which everybody attains to get, but nobody ever does. So it would be nice just to say, hey, this person borrowed this money and paid it all back, or this person has $10 million of loans outstanding and hasn't paid anything back yet, just so that you know who it is that you're dealing with. But as far as real estate goes, a decentralized property ledger would allow individual parcels of real estate to be transacted in such a way as like the NFT marketplace is right now, right? Where you've got NFTs that live on the blockchain and basically get transferred from one person to another, usually for some object of value, typically whatever the native cryptocurrency is. So if it's Ethereum or if it's Cardano, ADA, then you can transact a piece of real estate for 10,000 ADA, and at that point the ADA changes from your wallet to that person's wallet, and that property, that NFT that lives on the blockchain, changes from their wallet to yours. So there's never any, I guess, ambiguity between who owns what piece of real estate. You can say, hey, this lives in my wallet. I own this piece of real estate. Of course, the tricky thing when it comes to that is the government always wants to figure out how they can tax you on it. So, they want to know when it changes hands, how much it got bought or sold for, and how much of a piece of the pie they're going to take. Once that problem gets solved, it's going to eliminate so many issues when it comes to real estate, and just the opaqueness and the overall difficulty to trade one piece of real estate from one person to another. As you know, it takes 30 to 60 to 90 days to complete an entire real estate transaction, where it should be almost instantaneous. If you've lined up your financing or if you're paying cash, you should be able to transact real estate within a matter of seconds rather than a matter of months. So I think that the blockchain does have a lot of disruptive power. On our previous meetup, we talked about the DMV and how everybody hates going to the Department of Motor Vehicles to do anything, right? To get a new driver's license or to transfer ownership of a vehicle, your registration from one owner to another. It takes hours. And, it's just tedious and tiresome, where realistically, if the title for your car lived on the blockchain, you could, again, do the same type of transfer. I'm going to give you 5,000 ADA, and you're going to transfer title ownership of that car. And of course, in the middle there could be a third party, that the government, that takes their tax, their sales tax, or whatever it is it's going to be. But those transactions should be seamless and very quick. And on the same side of that, if your driver's license lived on the blockchain, you could do the same thing. You could update it extremely quickly and extremely easily by doing whatever it is the DMV required, rather than having to go into the office and spend hours of your time and half a day to go through and do all those things that should happen now very seamlessly. So there's a lot of blockchain applications that are going to start to roll out here, especially as blockchains mature in the next couple of years. I know that Ethereum's been almost the first blockchain, to have so much developed on it, smart contract wise. But obviously, when it's the first, there comes with those challenges, those high gas fees, the length of time it takes to get things done, and the congestion with the network. And so there's going to be a lot of blockchains that now aim to fix those problems that Ethereum's had. And there'll be a lot of people that have different applications on their blockchain. But at the end of the day, you don't care whether it lives on Ethereum or Cardano or Solana or Polkadot or Algorand. You just want to be able to use the applications that you want to use and be able to, basically get those applications and utilize them as easily and quickly as possible. So again, I think it's going to be really cool when people have that ability to have their applications their blockchain applications, their decentralized applications on any device. Right now there's a huge debate over if Apple's a monopoly because they have their app store and they charge people 20% or 30% of whatever goes through it goes directly to Apple, and you don't have any choice. You just have to pay them. Well, if that app store was decentralized, anybody could live on that app store and you could get whatever app you wanted to and download it anytime you want. And that's kind of what blockchain is. That's that decentralized mobile application that just lives in the internet, and nobody controls it, and you get to choose what it is you want, when you want it, and how you want it to look. So it's going to be exciting times coming up, and I'm really excited about it. I think that there's going to be a real cool transition from the way things were done to crypto technology. And I think when people talk about cryptocurrencies, they think of it in terms of what's it worth, what's a Bitcoin worth. But it's pretty soon everything is going to live on some type of a blockchain, and everything in the physical world, everything in the metaverse, and there's a lot of metaverses that are getting developed right now where some of the items and some of the parcels of land inside of them are selling for values that are on par, if not higher than what's going on in the real world. So there's a lot that's getting developed, and I am really excited about these times because we're going to transition into a whole new reality here, coming through the end of the 2020s into the 2030s. There's going to be a huge mind shift in terms of the way things are done and how they're done. I just think with some of these really cool things like Singularity Net, I mean, I was really impressed with, you know, what they're doing and how they're making it open source, where I think that a lot of times, especially when you think artificial intelligence, you think, wow, these things are getting developed by Google or you know, mainland China, or, you know, some of the major corporations that are out there. But to have it open source, I mean, some of the projects that they're working on, you know, are really kind of cool. They, you know, they're doing things like I said, the Domino's application right now with Domino's Pizza, so that they can deliver things quicker and easier, and you know, basically allow them to profit from it. But the way that they work, kind of like I was talking about, is they're creating this decentralized marketplace where, you know, all of these artificial intelligent apps are available to anyone who wants to use them, and you can develop your own. So, you know, you can utilize these apps if you want to, or you can develop an app to use utilizing their technology. And the better of an app you develop, the more of their native token that you'll get. And, you know, the more that people use it, the more valuable it becomes. It's really cool. So I was excited to see a lot of these new decentralized applications that I think are really going to change the way that we look at the world here in the next couple of years. Anyway, I wanted to finish it up here. Again, this is being recorded, so if you missed any portion of it, I will post the link to the video on YouTube later on. And I thank you guys all for coming out. I'm looking forward to growing this Cardano channel as much as I possibly can. Please, you know, give it a like on Meetup or YouTube or any place else that's out there, and invite some friends next time. We'll talk about whatever is going on in the Cardano ecosystem, and hopefully be able to learn and gain knowledge and grow together here. So I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.